Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back once again. It's me, MOLT. Super stoked to be here with another Real Talk video. For those of you that are new to Real Talk, this is a series where I have you guys ask questions down below about things you're struggling with, whether it's depression or you're getting bullied or you're just going through things in your life that you want my opinion on. I'm a Christian and my faith is the most important thing to me in my life. If you're not a Christian, that's totally fine. You're welcome here. You're welcome to comment. You're welcome to be involved. I want this to be a place where people can come to talk because that's hard to find a lot of times on YouTube and just in general. Oftentimes people hide behind their screen name to say negative things, but I want this to be a place where you guys can hide behind your screen names to say things that you've been struggling with, that you feel like you've kept inside and you just want to get them out. If you want me to try and answer one of your questions, first look through the comments and see if there's one that relates to yours and leave a like on it if there is, because those are the ones that I go through and find. If you're one of the first ones to comment, hashtag Real Talk in front of it, and we'll see if we can get to them. But hopefully I can answer things that help the majority of you. And again, guys, I'm not a psychologist or anything. I've been through things in my life, and I know what it's like to hurt. I know what it's like to deal with pain, and this is just a way for me to try and give back to you guys through conversation and through a personal type of relationship, if you will, where you guys can feel like you're talking with me. So some of these are going to be kind of odd for y'all, but let's just jump into it. So this first one we can apply to a lot of things. So it says you've been working out a lot, but your friend's making fun of you because you're not as strong as they are. So this doesn't just have to be in the sense of working out. It could be with, say, studying or getting smart. Like, say you've been reading a lot, or you've been studying, you've been trying to learn a new language, Spanish, German, whatever it may be, and you don't know as much as someone else, and so they're making fun of you for it. Everything takes work, guys. Everything takes time. If someone is making fun of you for where you're at, then that's just a way for them to try and make themselves feel better. But everyone started somewhere, and you just have to know that. When I first started working out, so I do CrossFit all the time now. I'm a thin guy, but I'm fit, and I've gotten a lot stronger. I used to barely be able to do a pull-up, and now I can do a lot. Same with muscle-ups and things like that. Like, I've gotten to the point where you train your body and you get better at things just like you do with your mind. So if someone's making fun of you for where you're at, prove them wrong by getting better. You know what I mean? And just ignoring it. So yeah, they might be making fun of you now, but in a month when you're running faster than them, or when you're doing more pull-ups than them, or when you're beating them at things, don't say anything about it. Just do it and let that speak for itself, you know? So that's the same with like studying and whatnot. If you're getting bad grades on tests, or if you're not doing good at something, prove people wrong by getting good at it. And yeah, that's easier said than done, but if you put your mind to something and if you put your body to it and you try and get better, a lot of times you're gonna see a difference, and people will respect that in you. I really do think that they will. So next, you're really shy and anxious. You feel like whatever you do is wrong. Guys, this was me a couple of years ago, and even up until now, where sometimes I just get a sense of anxiety. I just get a sense that something is wrong, and I hate it. I hate that feeling so much, that something is wrong. But here's the thing, that's out of your control. As I said, I'm a Christian, so I believe in God and Jesus and everything that the Bible says. And so for me, I go to a book in the Bible and verses and read. Philippians 4 verse 6 says, "Do not worry about anything, instead pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank Him for all that He has done. Then you will experience God's peace, which exceeds anything that we can understand." From my personal experience, guys, again, y'all might not believe this, but for me, that is so unbelievably true. When I release control of things that I'm going through and put it in my Savior's hands, it makes a big difference. Like, it's like, okay, this is out of my control. I get anxious. I don't know why. It's very frustrating. I don't want to be anxious, but I'm going to give that to you. And that may seem a little weird for some of you, but as you do it more, you really do get a sense of security in your heart and in your mind, that it's like, okay, that's not mine to deal with. Worrying about that is going to do nothing for me. I had a lot of stuff happen a couple months ago with YouTube where people were trying to hack me. I never really talked about it or anything, and it was really scary. But eventually I was like, I can't do anything about it. I've done everything that I can to prevent this from a security standpoint, and God's blessed me with YouTube and this platform, and if anything's gonna happen to it, I can't do anything about it. You know what I mean? And as soon as you release that and just understand, like, okay, yeah, you do have responsibilities in your life, and you do have a responsibility to try hard and to do good at things, but if you start to worry or feel anxious, just say to yourself, this is something that I've always done, especially if it's something that happens a lot, is say, I've been here before. I've had anxiety attacks. I've gotten really anxious and been terrified, and then the next day been totally fine. And so a month later when it happens again, I say, hey, I've been here before. I'm gonna be fine. It's okay. And as soon as you release that, it makes things so much easier. So try that out. Try that. Just try the concept of releasing the responsibility, and releasing those worries, and understanding that literally worrying is not going to add a single day to your life. It's not gonna fix anything. Worrying is it's a hard thing to get over, but I promise you, as you try and work through that, it's gonna make things a lot better on you. Next, you've been bottling up your anger and you're afraid of what you might do. Guys, I was just talking to a friend from my church about this. Yesterday we went and got lunch. I can be very angry. I can be a short-tempered person, especially with driving and even with Clash Royale and with technology and videos. I never get angry at people, but I get angry at inanimate things. And I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate with that as well. And I'm also sure a lot of you guys don't relate with that, but you have your own things that you struggle with. For me, when it comes to my short temper and just getting mad, you have to kind of see what's making it get there, you know? So when you say you're bottling up your anger, that's the first thing. The more that you bottle up, like think about it, if you have a Coke and it has stuff in it and then something happens to you, so you shake it a little bit, it starts to get fizzy. So that's like, all right, someone was mean to you, so you start to get a little fizzed up. You keep on shaking it, things start happening and continuing happening to you, the pressure's just gonna build, and if something were to happen to that cap that was significant, like a very big event, it's all just gonna explode, it's all gonna come out. So you have to realize what the little things are that add up to build to that point of just frustration and build to that point of explosion, and you got to talk through it. You got to think about it. You got to go back. You got to sit down and be like, okay. And I have to do this all the time. I have to sit down and I'm like, why am I angry right now? Why am I upset? It's understandable, and you can't beat yourself up for being angry. You can't beat yourself up for whatever you're going through. You just have to figure out what's gotten you to the point of being there and try and prevent that from happening again. It's so much better to be a preventative person than to be a responsive person. So you prevent things from happening instead of responding to them when they do happen. Next. This is from a guy who said he's interested in a girl. He met her, he really likes her. She's a Christian, and so he's exploring it as well, which is awesome, dude. That's really good to hear. But it's hard for you to separate her and God. It's hard for you to put God before her. It's hard for you to do all of that. I want you guys to know, when it comes to Christianity, like, the world has kind of created an image of Christianity that I don't agree with in so many senses. Thinking that you have to be perfect, thinking that if you do something wrong, you're going to hell, thinking that you have to do all of this stuff. That isn't the Jesus, that isn't the God that I know from the Bible. He meets people where they are, and he doesn't expect a lot from you. He understands. That's why Jesus came down to live as a human being, so that he could understand our temptations, so that he could understand the things that we go through. So for you, as you're exploring this, it's okay for you to explore it knowing that you're somewhat doing it for the girl that you're interested in. Now, ultimately, you're going to need to find your own faith in that. But at this point, just be happy that she's showing it to you. You know what I mean? Like, that's how everybody starts. When I started, it was my family. I couldn't separate my family from God. I couldn't separate my relationship with God from family. It was like, okay, my parents believe in God, so I'm going to believe in God because I like my parents. So for you, it's like, all right, this girl that I'm interested in believes in God, so I'm going to believe in God. And then over time, you're going to kind of, as you pursue it, you're going to understand that more. So I would say, don't worry about that, guys. God, to me, and Jesus is such a simple thing. It's not complicated. It really isn't. All you have to do is just believe in him, and through that belief, and as you grow in your relationship with him and knowing him, things change, and you'll see that. You'll see that as you grow in that. So here's the next one. You're feeling lost. You're going through a lot of pain. You lost a loved one. What should you do? Guys, this world is full of brokenness, and it's so sad. This world is full of just so much hurt and pain that we cause people and that people cause us, whether intentionally or unintentionally. And in the moment, the pain is it's so unbelievably hard. The pressure is miserable, and you're like, I don't think that I can make this through this. I'm going to use somewhat of a cheesy analogy here, but it's like coal, guys. So coal goes through a lot of pressure. It is pushed on by all sides for a long, long time, and then eventually turns into diamonds. I'm pretty sure it's coal that turns into diamonds. So at any rate, though, something as beautiful and strong as a diamond, like, they use diamonds to cut stuff. That's how strong it is. But it was weak once upon a time. And I know, like, yeah, this is easier said than done. But if you can have the mindset when you're in the midst of pain and when you're in the midst of suffering to be like, okay, this is hard. I acknowledge that. But what I also acknowledge is that I'm going to learn from this. And you can think back to other things that have been painful in your life that you've learned from, like, hey, that really sucked. But I learned from it, and I think I'm a better person for it. Not only am I a better person to myself, but I'm also a better person to the people around me. For someone who, I believe that this person, you said that you lost your father. I don't know that kind of pain. I've lost loved ones, but I've never lost someone as close to me as my father. So, you have to mourn it. You have to be sad about it, but you have to understand, like, okay, I'm feeling lost, I'm feeling confused, and that's okay. It's okay to feel lost, it's okay to feel confused, it's okay to not know what's going on. That isn't really your job. It's not your job to know your future. You can't know your future. You have to tackle each day head on, knowing that what you're going through now is preparing you for your future, whether you know it or not. You know, you might not be thinking, okay, as I work through this problem, it's going to result in this in the future. You can't know that. You just have to work through it. And in doing that, you're going to understand over time as you get older that going through struggles and going through pain really does build you up. You almost build a tolerance. Just like anything, like I was talking about lifting weights earlier with the first question. At first, it's going to be hard. You're going to struggle. You're only going to be able to lift the bar. But down the road, you're going to be able to throw weight on and weight on and weight on and get stronger and do things faster and be better at them. And you're going to be able to help out other people as they try and learn as well. So for you, if you've lost a loved one or if you're going through some sort of pain, you just have to know that going through it and approaching it head on and understanding that it's hard. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be upset. But you get to a point where you just know eventually, like, okay, this is making me stronger. And eventually, when something else down the road comes at me, I'm going to be able to handle it more. I'm going to be able to be strong through it. And you're going to be able to help other people who have been through it. That's the biggest thing for me when it comes to pain and things that I've gone through, is being able to help other people in it, which brings you so much joy because you're like, hey, I've been there, man. And if anything, just sit with the person who's going through what you went through and wait for them to talk. That's one of the best things you can do, is just sit with someone and just be there. You don't have to be the answer to their problems. You don't have to solve their problems. That's not your responsibility. Sometimes you just need to be present. So this one was really interesting to me. You said that you were 30 years old. I've taken just quick notes in my note thing, so I'm going to miss some stuff. But it said you feel like you've made a fake persona of yourself to deal with your depression, but you're not happy being you. You're not happy being that fake persona. How do you change to who you are? How do you be a happier version of yourself without losing people that you care about? You said that you don't want to be labeled as being disingenuous or not genuine, for those of you that don't know that word. So here's the thing with that. I had something pretty big happen a couple years ago to me that made me go super introvert, made me go super recluse. I was extremely extroverted before, and I just stopped hanging out with people that I cared about because I felt insecure, I was in a lot of pain, and I just wasn't doing well, and I kind of changed who I was. I wasn't the joyful person that I was before, and it was really, really hard. And what you have to do is you just have to acknowledge that to yourself. And honestly, if you acknowledge to the people that you feel like you've been lying to, if you acknowledge to them that you feel like you've been different and you feel like you're not who you are and you want to be yourself around them, that's the most genuine you can be. If you continue being who you are currently, that in itself is disingenuous, whether they know about it or not. So when it comes to being yourself, do what makes you happy for the most part. Like a lot of times, there's a lot of things that I think are gonna make me happy that I go and do, and then afterwards I'm like, why did I do that? Like I'm literally not happier right now. So you have to avoid those things that you think are fulfilling but actually end up making you emptier. And you have to find other things. For me, that's the Lord. That's my relationship with Jesus. I go on walks every day and I just pray and I just talk because He hears me. He listens to me. Guys, prayer doesn't have to be this formal thing. Yes, it is important to be respectful of who you're speaking to, but you don't have to every time you pray get on your hands and knees and turn off all the lights. It is good to do that sometimes and meet the Lord there. But for me, I just go on walks by myself and I just talk. I talk out loud. People might look at me like I'm weird, but hey, it's me opening up and it's me figuring out what makes me happy. I find my joy. So I would say don't be afraid of being disingenuous. The most genuine thing that you can do is approaching someone and being honest with them. Say, hey, I've been depressed lately and I've been faking a lot of things. I've been faking who I am and I'm not happy. And if, honestly, your happiness is more important at this point for you than other people's because you can't love them if you're not loving yourself. So be yourself. Be yourself. I know that that's such a vague thing to say and a concept to follow and have, but be yourself. Know what makes you happy. Be around people that make you happy. Pursue them. Pursue those types of relationships. And over time, that fake persona is eventually going to go away, and hopefully so will the depression to a certain extent as you find things that bring you joy. Lastly, for those of you that are still around, a lot of y'all want to know more about my faith. You want to know more about Jesus. And for me, I would say that starts in the Bible, guys. That starts in that historical book, which has sold more copies than any other book in history, which is just as proven as other books that you may read by Shakespeare or so-and-so. A lot of people just disprove the Bible, but nobody disproves Jesus as a person. Jesus was a real person. It is historical that Jesus was a real person. The thing that people have trouble understanding is his miracles and all these things that he did. And for me, that's where faith comes in, because I've seen miracles in my life. Maybe not in the form of a blind man being able to see, but I don't doubt that he can do that because of the things that I've seen him do in my life. So how do you get closer to the Lord? Not only do you spend time in prayer, like I was saying I do, but read. If you want somewhere to start, guys, start in the book of Mark. Okay, that's the story of Jesus. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John are all about Jesus, but Mark is a good one. Start there. Just read it, and you'll learn about Jesus. You'll learn about this person that I love very much, and that I have devoted my entire life to. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, comment down below. I know a lot of people aren't going to like this. I know there's going to be a lot of hate, because anytime there's religion, there's hate. But know that no matter what religion you are, no matter what you believe, I love you. And I care about you as a person, and I don't want to be overbearing. I don't want to make you feel unloved, because that's not my mission here. My mission here is to say, hey, here's where I'm finding joy. Here are things in my life that I do to release and to not worry and to not be anxious. And I really hope that some of them can help you guys as well. Y'all mean the world to me. I'm so blessed to be able to do this kind of thing. And again, we're going to do this every Friday, or at least I'm going to try to. And I'm excited about it. I really am. So comment down below, guys, and I'll see you on the next episode. As always, just, hey, don't worry about tomorrow, okay? Because tomorrow has its own troubles. Just live in today, all right? I'll see you guys later. Peace.